Welcome to St.Mary'S Gaels Baseball Weekend Review and Preview from the weekend date, Friday, April 28th through Sunday, May 2nd, 2023. A recap of the Gaels and the San Francisco Dons in the Battle of the Bay West Coast Conference action. Game 1 was a comeback thriller. The Gaels scored 4 times in the 9th inning to steal a 4-2 victory. It capped off by a suicide squeeze by Dalton Mayshore. The big to tie that game at 2-2. The 2-run RBI single by catcher Blake McDonald. Also in Game 2 of that series, in Game 2, the Gaels fall 3-2, and they left 12 runners on base. In fact, both teams, them and the Dons, combined they leave 23 runners on base. It was Mario Demera's walk-off double in the bottom of the 9th inning gave San Francisco a win. Then San Francisco did it to the Gaels again on Sunday in the rubber match of a 3-game series, 7-6. Will Asby hit a walk-off home run, and here's the stat of the day. In the last 15 games, these two longtime rivals, West Coast rivals, have played. All 15 games have been decided by at least 2 runs or less. In 3 of those games, San Francisco has beaten the Gaels in their final at-bat. So we're here with Greg Moore. We're going to talk about this. The Gaels, by the way, dropped to 11-10, 18-21 overall. That was a well-contested series. Unfortunately, you guys been for the third time in the last 5 years, you guys been on the loose ends on the walk-off trail.
Yeah, they were all close games. Even Saturday's win, 4-2 game. USF's in control the whole day, and then we come up with some runs late. The other games were just back and forth, and one swing made the difference.
Yes, and then also I want to know, there was an incident for a lot of you didn't know, in case you missed the game on the WCC network. That incident where Don's San Francisco first baseman Dave Stapleton was ejected for unsportsmanlike. And describe for the viewers at home, and under the NCAA Baseball and Sportsmanlike Conduct Rule 5-17, and we want you to describe for the viewers or the listeners at home, wherever they're at, watching this podcast. This is a rule. It's very strict. Negative comments directed at an opponent or umpire is in that unsportsmanlike conduct 5-17, which that resulted in Stapleton getting an automatic ejection. Tell us more about that rule.
That rule is designed so that you don't have the chirping back and forth. You don't have some of even the gamesmanship.
Taunting
the taunting. They've tightened that up in the last few years.
Right.
Players have been more prone to talk at the other team instead of just play the game. So I think there was some talking going on, and I think Stapleton did some things when he was rounding the bases. But,
and did some.
Yeah, we let the umpires take care of that stuff.
Yeah, he was directly at Blake McDonald. I talked to one of our players. He said, I'm not going to mention his name on the air, did say I talked to him one-on-one. He said that he was popping off.
Yeah, I didn't hear much of it. I know Blake does such a good job of communicating with umpires. I think Blake was probably talking with umpires about strike zones and just giving feedback. Those umps are great. And I think it probably started there while Stapleton was at bat.
Yeah, I think I really condemn I'm going to keep it off record. I commend our players of not retaliating, just like ignoring it. And, Stapleton got busted, and that ended up getting him bounced for the game. Let's move forward. So now you guys went 11-10. Only 2 conference games left. You go to Spokane to take on the Gonzaga Bulldogs up at Patterson Park in Spokane in the Pacific Northwest. And then you wrap it up at home against San Diego for this series against Gonzaga. You trail them by 2 full games for right now. You trail Gonzaga 2 games for 4th place. You're only about a half game back. Game and a half back to Santa Clara, and you lose that tiebreaker Santa Clara will be playing San Francisco at Schott Stadium over the weekend. You guys really gonna have to win these final series, to get in.
Yeah, we just go play. We got 2-3 game series left, and you go up there and chunk up the game into thirds, and we play our brand. So not much changes for us. They're all big series, whether you're in week 1 or week 7. So we got work to do, and we go do it.
Okay, and then what's the update on the stadium? It is getting close. Progress today. It's getting closer and closer. We're in that 2-week window where the team has been on the road, other than doing the road to San Francisco. Where are the update on that?
The field is scheduled to open in our final series against San Diego. I know they're working hard. They've got quite a few crews down there to try to make that happen. So we're optimistic that's going to be the opening there in that last week.
And hopefully we have the food trucks, and I want to have my first Gael hot dog.
They'll cook the first one up for you, B. I think it's already in the boiler.
Okay, and so I think it would be for the fans who've been waiting for this in recent years, been chirping and honking and quacking to get that stadium going. I know under heavy circumstances, and I for yours truly, I have to commend the players for what they playing hard throughout the circumstances that we had no control over. I mean, even when I came here in the fall, I was just happy to be here and have a team to cover without stadium. If they had to put us at the old Big Rec Park out in San Francisco as a temporary home, hey, so be it.
Yeah, our guys are great. They come to practice every day. They appreciate what's being done. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But they just want to work at the game. They want to come to practice. So they're enjoying watching the build, but it's not something that they key on every day
or dwell on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then okay, Greg. So go up there. Good luck up in Spokane. Go get him.
Thank you, B. Good to see you.
That's Greg Moore, the head coach of the St. Mary's Gaels. Games 1 and 2 will be Friday and Saturday night. Then Sunday afternoon, they'll wrap it up at Patterson Park. And catch all the action on WCCSports.com via smcgales.com. Then, in 1 week from next Friday, they'll open up in their brand new Gallagher Stadium in Moraga. It'll be the first time we'll have a home series, and we hope you come out there to the ballpark. We'll give you updates and everything. smcgales.com for the latest Gaels news. And this has been the St. Mary's Gaels Weekend Review Preview with head coach Greg Morris on the Smc-Tv Plus+Audio cast. Now we're going to give you a full update of the action, what's going on in the West Coast Conference baseball standings, and for the slate for this weekend's games.
An update around the West Coast Conference baseball standings as we look at the standings. In the West Coast Conference baseball standings, only 2 weekends left of conference play as we begin the stretch drive towards the mark towards the West Coast Conference tournament, which will be held in Henderson, Nevada from May 24th through the 27th. And check out all the latest news on WCCSports.com. Loyola Marymount owns a 2-game lead over the Portland Pilots with only 3 games left to play. They're 15-6 and 22-20 overall. Portland sits and San Diego both sit in second place, tied for second place with a 13-8 mark apiece. Portland is 13-8. They're 24-18 overall. San Diego's 13-8 and 20-21 overall. Gonzaga is also the 3-way tie. They're both San Diego and Gonzaga are 2.5 games ahead of 2.5 games ahead of both, or 2 games plus ahead of St. Mary's for the final for the rest of the pack in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga is 17-25 overall. Santa Clara sits in 5th place, 24-15 overall. And then St. Mary's right now holds the 6th and final playoff spot They're 4 games out of the West Coast Conference. Them losing 2 out of 3 to San Francisco last weekend in the annual Battle of the Bay hurt their chances a bit, meaning they would have to win both series if they're going to have a chance to get into postseason play down in Vegas. They sit at number 6 at 10, 11 and 10, 18 and 21 overall. They actually are tied in the loss column with BYU, but St. Mary's, the Gaels do have the tiebreaker over BYU. Then it's BYU. Then Pepperdine is 7 and 14. They're 4 games back. Right now they will trail St. Mary's by 4 games for the final spot. And then San Francisco, who did take 2 out of 3 from St. Mary's on back-to-back walk-offs last weekend on the Hilltop. Them and Pepperdine sit 4 games out of first. Pepperdine has the tiebreaker over San Francisco, so they're right now are in 8th place. Pacific, who are now 5 games back, are pretty much will be eliminated before when the season is by the end of this weekend. They're 5 games back. They'll be back in action next weekend. They will finish up the West Coast Conference slate when they'll take on the Loyola Marymount Lions, where the West Coast Conference championship for the regular season will be on the line for Loyola Marymount. And then around the WCC for the weekend series, BYU will take on the San Diego Toreros at Fowler Park for the first of a 3-game weekend series. It will start on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Fowler Park in San Diego. BYU right now is in 7th place for the right out of the final playoff spot. Then it will be San Francisco will travel down to the South Bay for the weekend series to take on the Santa Clara Broncos at Schott Stadium. As Santa Clara right now sits in 5th place, 3.5 games behind they're dead even. Santa Clara has the tiebreaker over. They have that tiebreaker over St. Mary's. They right now own a 1.5 game lead ahead of them. They own a 1.5 game lead with only coming up. And then the Gaels will take on the Bulldogs, and they hand up to Patterson Park in Spokane for an important series for St. Mary's, that they really need to win this series and need to win a series against San Diego to have a chance to get into the WCC tournament next weekend. So again, Pepperdine, Loyola Marymount, Portland, Pacific, all are off this weekend. They have a bye. And a reminder, the Gaels will take on the Gonzaga Bulldogs at Patterson Park in Spokane, Washington. Games 1 and 2 will be both Friday and Saturday at 6 p.m., Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Catch the action on the WCC Sports Network at WCCSports.com. All right, Brian Professor B. Davis, thank you for listening to the SMC Gaels, St. Mary's Gaels Baseball Weekend Review Preview and the update of West Coast Conference baseball standings on SMC-TV Plus Audiocast.